do a lot of things in Japan.
Live from the north side of Racine, Wisconsin. It's that dancing and singing love group. Guys, Games, and Beer.
Yeah!
It's Guys, Dames, and Beer.
Guys, Dames, and Beer?
He's just gonna hold that up the entire time.
You really don't want to see anybody in the episode. So Rob.
Yeah. I thought we were going to get the great announcement, and apparently that didn't happen.
No one gave me the okay.
I pointed you.
What, you couldn't figure that out? How hard was that?
No one. One person said. Okay, fine. In what case does one person saying something mean that it's going to happen?
How hard is that? Okay, so, Rob. I do it all the time. What's tonight's topic?
Beer. Let's talk about the beer first.
Okay, so again, those of you who watched the last show, we have taken to now drinking a beer for each show. And we're really gonna try to keep with Wisconsin beers, which is not hard because there's a bitchload of beers in Wisconsin.
Or if you send us beer, we'll drink it too.
Yes. If you send us, no. I don't.
Send beer or
I know our listeners.
Wait.
I don't think I'm drinking anything.
If you actually make a beer that is produced and gets sold, can send us.
I'm still not thinking I'm
You
drinking.
can probably send us your beer.
Or
sealed.
Or maybe the smarter plan is send us your suggestions.
There you go.
A good beer to try.
All right. So,
send me your beer.
We are trying another Wisconsin beer tonight. This is a made by the James Page Brewing Company out of Stevens Point, Wisconsin. It's a cappella. Okay, and what is special about a cappella beer, Larry?
It's apparently made from sorghum.
Sour cum?
Sorghum.
Treebeard died for
It is a gluten-free pale ale.
With sour cum. So basically,
so if you have gluten issues, this is a gluten-free beer you can drink.
Because the sugar in it is apparently made from a tree.
Yeah. Well, sorghum is a tree resin.
So it's made out of ants.
Yeah, it could be that too. So basically, there is no barley in here. There is no wheat in here.
It's made of something that comes from the ants.
So yeah, just the sorghum, hops, and yeast.
All right. So let's see if this is any good, guys.
All right.
I'm a little afraid of this one.
I'm not gonna lie.
I've already given my.
Did you drink it already?
Yeah, I did. I mean, I've had worse.
It's pretty skunky.
Okay, guys. Show.
It tastes like sour cum.
It's flat.
Yeah,
it's flat.
Okay, are we gonna set the rule here? All right, I'm gonna go with this. I'm gonna say one thing positive about this beverage.
It's gluten-free.
I can't.
That the box kept it shockingly cold for a long time.
Again, I gotta say, not so much, guys.
Okay,
so one more time.
What is the beer rule now? We tried it. We've all given it kind of a thumbs down.
We have to
finish it?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, yeah, that's a waste of beer.
Unless you Rob on that
beer. That's
beer.
You're taking out our name here.
No.
No. All right. I need to.
You gotta finish the beer.
You're supposed to poke the hole first, Larry.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's talk topic now.
Let's talk topic.
Today's topic is the weird games of the Dreamcast.
I'm sorry.
Stop littering on the set. Jesus.
Aftertaste.
This is exactly why we don't have an expensive set, Larry.
You just slam it all at once.
The one reason.
What are you saying about your house?
That's right.
All right, fair enough.
The last guy owned it, lost it. That's all I'm saying. All right?
Fair enough.
And it wasn't that expensive.
Oh, this is gross. So bad.
So, what's the best way to drink a bad beer? Hold your nose, switch between a good beer and a bad beer.
I am switching between a good and a bad.
No,
quickly like a Band-Aid.
Pretend it's
Good
Pabst.
beer from the fridge, please. I am going to take your method.
Why don't we just talk
I love
about
how you
beer?
said. I love how you said good beer and he passes you a PBR.
Hey.
It's better than this stuff. I'll tell
And
you
this
that.
is an important thing too.
Now if I could have some of that other
Oh,
beer
everything's
here.
an important thing, Larry.
We're giving an honest assessment here. We aren't just, shilling for the man.
We're drunk, so they don't pay us any money.
We're definitely not
We're gonna
paying
give you an
one
honest.
Guys. We'll totally do this if you give us some money. I mean, come on now.
My name is Brian Rodriguez, and I endorse this beer.
This is the best beer I've ever had.
So if you send us your worst beer.
No! Say
Wait,
and drink it.
Honestly,
Mind this.
And $20? What?
And thank you. That's what I'm trying to say. Now you guys let me finish. If you send us your first beer and $20 each, we'll drink it.
That is not enough.
Hey guys, you know the tagline for this is an adventure.
Adventure.
It's an adventure.
Alright, speaking of adventures.
Okay.
Like Sonic Adventure.
Speaking of adventures, let's talk about the weird games of the Dreamcast. And why don't we start with Brian, who has a weird game right in his hands.
My favorite weird game that, honestly, I played this all the time when I was a kid. Was a little
With
game.
himself.
Yeah, I used to play with myself all the time when I was a kid.
by yourself?
By myself.
Because it's not multiplayer.
Yeah.
And then he would grow his Seaman.
Yeah. This game is Seaman. Yeah, I mean Seaman, I don't know.
Seaman.
Seaman?
He knows a lot about Seaman.
I have an intimate knowledge of Seaman. I mean Seaman. Man, why do I keep screwing that up? God.
You're not
like dick.
Because you're lonely.
True feelings. True
So,
feelings coming out
this is the microphone attachment thingy. I don't know how well.
Oh, it'll show up
It's a
beautiful.
little crusty. I mean, this is Rob's, so it looks like somebody else has an intimate knowledge of semen.
Yeah, I got it in I got that one in a lot. And whenever you get anything in a big auction lot, you should probably inspect it first, which I did not do in this particular case.
Clean it like somebody jizzed on it.
Yep, I'm gonna boil that thing.
Clean it because somebody just on it?
No, but it is likely that did happen.
Everywhere.
All right, sorry. Semen. What's the point of semen?
When a man loves a woman, they buy a Wolverine and a Dreamcast.
Or alternatively, if this is your sexual preference, when
That
a man
is, I
loves
mean,
a man.
that is the thing. You call that a game, but I'm not convinced it's much of a game.
It was a game.
Yeah,
It was a
yeah,
rabbit
there was a story.
It was
to
a,
it.
yeah,
That was a
Tamagotchi Deluxe.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's a good.
That is exactly what it is.
And Brian, you played this a lot?
Yeah.
God, you had no friends.
I really didn't.
No, that was the time sucker too, though. That game really was.
I mean,
Well, on the upside, he became a friend. He would talk to you.
Yeah. Leonard Nimoy
Not much of a
became
friend.
my not so imaginary friend, and then the weird whoever the voice actor for this game like traumatized me as a kid because it's like,
That and a crippling loneliness.
that as well. Plus me. No, everything was like so monotonous. Like when you were accidentally killed, because this game ran in real time too. Like you had to go back and take care of your fake semen. I mean, semen. God damn it! It would run
Let's
in real
call
time.
him Bill.
Yeah, Bill. Let's just
Come
call
back
him
and take
Bill.
care of Bill.
How do you call more than one man Bill?
Oh, would you
Bills.
quit?
That's crossed.
Well, you really
we
only-
here at G2B.
You really only
You had to
talk-
take care of your bills. There you go.
Yeah, I had to take care of
There was
my
only
bills.
like one, right? There was one that you had
in
to
the
take care of.
In the beginning, you had like a whole colony school of them, and they would slowly die off or eat each other.
That was the cool part
best.
that there was
Semen
cannibalism
won.
in the game, so they
Yeah.
ate each other off.
Well, and that was,
That's awesome.
They ate each other, and
they
there was
became,
semen involved. Got it.
it was the stage right after Tadpole when they would have sex, and then the man would die, or the man even though they all looked like androgynous,
No,
like,
they all look like guys.
bald head.
They
Yeah,
all look
there
like
were male
guys.
and female versions,
They
but you
still look
could
like
not
guys.
tell which ones were which.
They look
Facial
like
models were kind of
Okay.
Yeah.
But the weirdest thing about that game was if you stopped playing for like one day, they would all start dying off, and they would all be like complaining about themselves dying in this monotonous drone, like, "You are killing me. Stop. Please save me. Feed me."
A bit like marriage, eh?
Yes.
He's cross drinking.
Sorry, my beer was more interesting.
So Brian, what's the end
Yes,
game in
the
this?
drunker
I'm gonna
episode.
go kill myself now.
That was the end game.
What's the end game, Brian?
Okay, see the little frog man on the cover?
Yeah.
Yeah, do you want to get your dude to be that big? And then you
Right.
feed
They
him
start out
frogs.
like a little tadpole thing.
Yeah, well, they started
And-
as
right. Then they
eggs
start getting little
and-
arms and legs, and yeah, they basically are like a frog. So you're trying to get them to the frog stage.
Yeah.
With a face of a real person.
It was
Oh,
a
yeah.
really,
Yeah, it really
really
was.
freaky looking game.
Frog.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
I never played it, but it looked freaky.
No,
I
no,
didn't
it-
like it.
Like there was the level of interactivity with that game was surprisingly high too. Like you would enter in, or actually you wouldn't enter it. You would say what your birthday was, and all of a sudden you'd have a shitload of facts about what happened on January 17th,
Yeah.
1989.
And again, graphically, the game's really not all that spectacular. I mean, really, most of the time, the tank is this big empty tank that they're swimming around. Empty fish tank that they're swimming around. Like not like there's all this coral and gravel on the bottom. It was pretty much just an empty fish tank that these things swam around.
But didn't wasn't like the sort of pull of the game is like he would come to the foreground.
Yeah.
And talk to you.
Oh yeah, you interacted with it and
talk
you talked
back
to
and
it.
stuff, and it would.
Yeah, he's my best
It would be
friend.
rude,
And it sounded like Leonard Nimoy.
Again,
It was good for
depends.
preparing me for you guys.
Yeah. Basically came up with
Imagine us
insulting
as
you.
a bunch of frog body.
I'm a video game man. We
Man-faced
need more
men
interesting
from-
life.
You imagine this is an empty tank?
Ribbit. Yeah.
Mwah.
It's a lot like his bedroom.
That's depressing. I just packed up my bedroom.
He's homeless.
But yeah, you're not joking.
That's true.
Tie bomber. Now that we're done talking about semen.
Stop trying to pass off your semen.
Anything on about the Dreamcast you want to bring up?
Well,
Weird
semen.
games.
see, the thing is, I never owned a Dreamcast. The only time I played a Dreamcast was with you guys.
I think a little.
You got
less
semen in your hair. You might want to go take a shower.
It's not personal.
The thing is, so
But it is.
there are a lot of weird games out there. What they are? Hell if I know. 'Cause I didn't own them.
Well, that sums it up.
So when you went over to someone's house, there was no game that went, whoa.
That was just creepy.
It was 18-wheeler pro American trucker. He just
That game was
freaked
pretty
out with
legit.
that.
I just got that. I just
I haven't-
got that like 2 weeks ago.
I have it American and Japanese.
Nice.
It's really
I have
hard for
issues.
me to go.
Yeah.
I think
love
with-
that game, though.
Yeah.
I think without
Okay,
the
good
big
point.
rig
Usually I'm the
controller,
person scarring other things.
No,
point.
it's just fun.
Yeah.
Wait, you get like a
Sorry.
big rig style.
well,
Dreamcast
it wasn't. It was. That's just a straight port of an arcade game, and the arcade game had a big rig controller.
I got
What
it.
if you could use it without the steering wheel controller? I bet
Yeah,
you
of course
probably
it could.
You could, but unless
have the
it's
same
big.
It's not that big.
I damn cardboard box.
the whole thing.
Alright. Kevin?
Gotta get that
I mean,
right
as
beating
far as
feeling,
weird goes, honestly, no, I don't really have much to offer. Like, I'm trying to think of something that's, not really, but yeah, no, nothing as extreme as what you guys are going on about.
See, what's funny is
Seaman and fishing and...
Seaman.
Seaman. Okay, well, you know what?
Ryan
Okay,
Seaman,
I'm
got
going
it.
to jump in. You want to talk about weird? This was a weird-ass game. Typing of the Dead, okay?
Damn it!
Isn't that on PC now? If I remember right, like they made a remake of it?
It's an overkill. It's basically Typing the Dead overkill, but with typing now. But
Right.
yes, they had the original one. Yeah. And if you've ever played Typing the Dead Overkill, it's basically like a B-grade movie. But
Yeah.
that's the original.
So I loved House of the Dead. Freaking great
House of
shooting
the Dead
game.
2. That's what you fell in love with.
Right, yeah, yes, thank you. House of
Oh,
No, he's right.
fucking got him.
He's right.
We did live
who's the
together.
little boy
Right.
now?
I do remember fondly his obsession at arcades with House of the
With
Dead.
House of the Dead 2. I mean,
Yes.
just played it all the freaking time. So, again, came out on the Dreamcast, House of the Dead 2. Great game. Dreamcast had nice light guns. I did not bring a light gun with me, actually. So,
Their light guns were weird.
no, I liked their light
The
guns.
best part of that
They were
game is
very accurate.
the best part of that game is in the game graphics.
In the games, they have the little
they have
keyboards.
controllers
And the
a
Dreamcast on
battery
their back. And the Dreamcast.
Yeah, actually, in scenes that they're using it, it's on a little table on them,
front
in
of
front
them.
of them.
Yeah, and then they got
Yeah,
literally a battery on their back and a Dreamcast on their back. That was probably the best part of the game in the Typing of the Dead.
Yeah, we use that later.
So they basically reskinned the game so that the main
Yeah.
characters had the keyboard
Nice.
and the Dreamcast on their back.
I like
and
that.
so basically, instead of shooting the zombies, a little word pops up under the zombie, and
Or
you
a
have to type it in
Yeah.
to kill off the zombies. And it was 1 or 2 player. See, and the reason the Dreamcast could do this is because, like we talked about in previous episodes, the Dreamcast actually came with keyboards because it was an internet-based system.
Well, it didn't come with one, but it was easily
You could get
available.
The Hello Kitty Dreamcast did come with a keyboard.
Right. So because it was designed to use the
would
internet,
know.
they
You
already
would-
had a
really
keyboard
know.
with it.
You really
So you could use this for Typing of the Dead.
I've seen it.
I literally bought 2 keyboards just so we could
Very
play
Japanese.
Typing of the Dead because the game is just so off the wall weird. You have to have a couple of keyboards to play it properly.
But it's still
Just wait,
really
Tom,
fun.
how do you
You
type?
need at least one keyboard to play it properly.
I gotta tell you,
Types like a
With the
bird.
fingers.
Still types like a bird.
That's it.
A pterodactyl playing the Dreamcast.
Damn straight. Damn straight.
A
But,
pterodactyl that gets paid by the hour.
again, if you get a chance, thank you very much. I can
Yeah.
tell
I ain't no
you slow as I
stenographer.
freaking want. They pay me the same. but really a very good game. Because House of the Dead was a great franchise. This was a very clever little idea. First done on the Dreamcast with the typing of the dead. It was a clever idea to teach typing, and a cool game at that.
I think they just want to make some more money. But
you know something? Who cares?
It was great.
It was a great
You know what? If I had
way to make more money.
If I had this game when I was like in grade school learning how to type, fuck yeah, I'd learn how to type.
You would, exactly.
The Dreamcast
You would
was
too.
a very educational system.
In this case, it did make it educational.
It taught me a lot about
Some of the weird games.
I mean, Seaman.
Some of the weird games for it, I think, got so mainstream they stopped being weird. I think Crazy Taxi is one of those. I think it's a very different game.
It's not weird. The concept of
but-
the game is kind of fucked up.
It's well, I don't know.
What? Picking up a person, driving them to their location.
It was kind of racist
insane
in
manner
early
of
versions,
like,
but
fuck all the laws. I'm just gonna go, and then do jumps in
Grand Theft
weirdness.
Auto.
I was just going to say, the whole Grand Theft Auto series.
Those weren't out at the time. Dude.
Yeah, those were
Excuse me,
top
yeah.
down. I mean, it wasn't 3D.
Those
Yeah.
were top
Good
down at the time.
That doesn't mean anything. You can still
But I
have a
think
violent
it managed to
game.
make it a mainstream game, so
There
you
were
don't
no
even
guns
think it's a
in Crazy
strange
Taxi.
game. There wasn't anything like it at the
Didn't have
time.
oh, there are
called
plenty.
Twisted
No.
Metal.
No,
Yeah, it really was. No, it didn't have anything like
No,
it.
you're right.
But
Now
it's
that you
still
mention it, they
fucking
did
weird.
actually come up with things that were...
It was original. I mean, I don't know if I
Yeah.
call it weird, but it was definitely an original.
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still Mosquito, and that's a different system, I know. But, it's not that weird.
It's no Super Magnetic Neo, I'll tell you that. Anyway,
No, PlayStation. PlayStation
Or
2,
like
actually.
Cooking Mama. There are other
That's
systems
crap.
that have weird.
I like Cooking Mama. I'm serious.
Me
I
too,
like
I
Cooking
like
Mama.
that game, yeah.
It's a weird game, though.
I like it. Not gonna lie.
Hey, did they make a 3DS version of that? Because I'm so down for it if they made a 3D
There's
version of that crap.
nothing wrong with
I'll have to
Cooking
check that
Mama.
out.
One of the weird
Okay,
things, the really cool things, was the browser.
Oh yeah, Mike Klein was talking about the internet browser. we were talking about this.
Yeah, you could get a disc for your Dreamcast that you could actually use it.
That came
as-
with it, by the way.
Oh, it
Well,
did come with it?
only
Yep,
for a
it came
time.
with- no, it
Then
came
later
with-
they charged.
No, they charged for the upgrade.
Wait,
For the good
what?
browser.
For the good browser. Can't machine browser.
But you got that disc for the internet browser.
Yeah.
And you can
That
buy
was
them out
one of
and
the
there were
weirdest
some,
things.
there were
Yeah,
some
it's
games you
one
can
of the
actually
weird
internet. The internet.
There's some games that actually had it built into, like Fantasy Star Online. You can cheat your way onto the browser and browse anywhere, as well as Jackrabbit Radio right now, because use it to download custom tags. You can actually download your own custom graphics. So when you painted, so it would show you.
But again,
I also think
this
you
was
could,
99, 2000 that this stuff was happening.
I think
This
you
was
can
the
download
early days of the net.
games to your VMU with it too, as I recall. There was
Yeah.
some games that you could
Yep,
just
yep,
download
yep.
and play on it.
But again, you got to remember, this is at this time the web is only about 5 years in at this time. 50,
Broadband is
baby.
just becoming a thing. For
Exactly.
Consumers. yeah.
Exactly. So you figure the web, technically about 95 was the big when the web made the big jump. So this is only 4 to 5 years after the web was getting started. So like you said, this goes back down to so far ahead of their time that it may not have been the right time.
Yeah, because it's like seriously, the only reason I was able to get online and shit is because I had a techie dad. Like I fucking.
I don't think any time is the right time to surf the web with a controller. I'm just saying.
But that's why
what
they
the
had the
keyboard's
keyboard and the
for.
mouse and the mouse. You could
got
get
a
a keyboard and mouse for it.
And no, and the controller, you could control the mouse, couldn't you?
You
Yeah.
could, yes.
It was
But
terrible.
It was
thank
real
you.
fucking janky.
Anytime you're using a controller as a mouse is janky.
Real quick, Ben. What did you use the browser for? We were talking about this
Yeah,
during
let's
break.
talk about this.
Thank you, Travis, because that introduced porn to me. It was
Dreamcast porn.
And the
Dream Fact. It was
the,
Dream
the
Fact.
upside is there's something to hold the data. You turn it off.
No browser.
browser.
No
No.
screen. No nothing.
The ultimate incognito mode.
Thank you, Sega, for giving us the
So much better porn.
Yeah,
The
you
most
didn't
anonymous
even have to look at the horror that your friends were looking up.
Maybe they survived had they advertised. Porn safe?
That's right. You're not gonna get a virus on it, are you?
I don't know. You can look at porn on the Wii.
It had Windows CE. It's possible.
Now, is it
Okay,
porn
good
safe
point.
or is
You can look
it a
up
porn
You
safe?
can look up porn.
Something- yeah, it's like a porn safe.
Remember,
All right.
having a game?
You may.
I do, but I'll wait till the end. I mean,
All right, I'm just gonna chime in with a few real quick
Go
here, and like I'll
masturbate.
keep them really brief.
the racing game.
Well, yeah, and I will reveal the racing game.
All right.
Basically, I'll kind of start with some of the more
It wasn't
common
Pod, was it?
No, no.
Okay, good.
You've never heard of it, I guarantee you, because I'm like the only person who like knows this game apparently. Zombie Revenge.
Not even the maker.
Got it. I have
love
it.
that
I'm
game.
playing with the more common ones. It's a really fun
Love
kind of
it.
arcade style beat 'em up. It
Joe
was
and I
actually
finished that one.
$7.
loosely based on House of the Dead.
Yeah,
Actually,
You were there when
so
I bought
it's fun. You can find it really cheap. I mean, you're not going to be getting really deep into it, but it's a really fun.
It doesn't last real long either.
Yeah, it's a pretty short game.
It doesn't
It's
really last long, but
fun pick up and play.
Yeah, exactly.
Another along those lines, Dynamite Cop, which is the sequel to Die Hard Arcade for the Saturn.
Finish that one too.
Yeah, it's a little more common. It's pretty easy to come by, but it's another one of those ones that I've seen people like, oh yeah, I saw the game in arcades at bowling alleys all the time. I don't remember what it was called, but you can get it for the Dreamcast. It's really
Oh,
good.
and its storyline is bizarre.
Yeah, right?
wait,
You can beat people with fish and all
Yeah.
that.
Oh, I love
yeah,
that
yeah.
game I'm talking, thinking of.
that.
Oh, those
That's
are
exactly
fun.
it. Yeah. It was in arcades in the '90s all over the place, and everybody always forgets the name of it. It was actually, it was originally licensed as a Die Hard game, but then they lost the Die Hard licensing, so it became Dynamite Cop or Dynamite Deku.
Which made it better.
so
Yeah.
good.
Yes.
There was
It was a
another-
little more off the wall
Dude,
after
where-
it stopped
where-
being Die Hard.
Were you climbing like a building in Dynamite?
At the beginning of the game, you hopped on the helicopter and then you dropped down from the top of the building. Yeah.
Yeah.
First time Joe and I played that, we played it to the end. We just
yeah, it's
loved
so
it.
good.
They made,
It's
they
so
made a
good.
second one too. Where
Dynamite Cop is the second one. Die Hard
Oh.
Arcade is the first one.
All right, where you're actually on a ship.
The ship is actually in Dynamite Cop.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and that's
then you're in the
beautiful, too.
freezer and you beat somebody with a tube.
You can launch like actually like
Or
nuclear
swordfish.
sub missiles at
I'm
people,
so
too.
revived.
Project Justice is like, and Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was good, but as an exclusive Dreamcast game, it is the best. It was a sequel to Rival Schools. I don't know if anybody's played Tatsunoko vs. Capcom, but Batsu is in there. And it's a really fun kind of like just ridiculous game. It doesn't take itself too seriously. A lot of unique fighters. It's a little harder to come by. It's a little more expensive because people really like it who play it. It's a really great fighter. But the big one I'm going to show gameplay of this because it's really, really hard to explain. It's called Zuzar Vassar.
Well, I've heard of it. I never played it though.
Chariot
That's it.
combat racing, much a la like Star Wars Pod Racers, but you have like these, and I don't know if anybody else here tonight eats kids. You have these Zoid-like creatures.
Zoids!
Yeah! Choose. You
What
can
are
choose
Zoids?
Choose
Little
your chariot,
wild creatures
as
that
well
you
as choose whatever's pulling it. So you get like robot Wolverines, robot deer. Robot. All this
I
stuff.
remember playing that with you.
It is
It was
absolutely-
ridiculous.
It's insane and it's a lot of fun and it's just super off the wall. It's like Star Wars Pod Racer on steroids.
Yeah,
It
you know who
really
loved
is.
that game? Your uncle did.
Oh yeah.
Uncle Jim, yeah, he used
That's
to love that
probably
game.
how
Yeah.
Why not?
Now I
Yeah.
knew about it, yeah.
But yeah, no, it's a very very bizarre game. Again, that is Zuzar, Z-U-S-A-R.
Might have to pick that one up.
Vasar,
Yeah, that looks great.
V-A-S-A-R. It is a very, very unique game. A little bit difficult to come by, but it's well worth it.
I had to find that
Well,
one.
thank you. I know what game I have to get.
Exactly.
Was the
Dynamite-
Japanese version a little bit easier to
Well,
get?
no,
Yes.
like I've been.
Yeah, I'll probably
I
grab that.
didn't realize Dynamite
I think there's
Cop
an
was
EU
on
version
the
as well.
podcast.
It has not come out in North America.
All right.
So I can't wait to get.
All right. Okay, other weird stuff. Go ahead, Rob. You got some weird stuff.
But, you know,
This.
up until the Dreamcast,
This is like a real
fishing games,
Oh, I know.
fishing games were a boring chore.
I like real fishing better.
Let's.
Super bass.
That is
That was
wrong. But anyway, let's keep going.
There you go.
Start with Atari's Fishing Derby.
Yeah.
Terrible.
No. The Bass Fishing Games by Sierra.
No.
No.
Action
But-
Pass, man.
But
Wait, let's go back to the Atari. It was
and then
pretty good.
and all the SNES ones. No. All the SNES
Oh,
ones.
thank God. You're just
lame.
the SNES ones. Ugh.
But when the Dreamcast came out, they came out with Sega Bass Fishing, and
Weird
this
looking
game.
dildos.
Oh my God! This game is so freaking good.
It's arcade
Not
fishing.
game
Yeah, it's
fish.
great.
And don't forget ocean fishing.
Yeah, all the later ones were okay. I really loved the original best because it was an arcade game originally,
Right.
Bass Fishing, and it had a flow that worked really well for short play sessions. And it's the first one where Tom's brother Jim actually accused Darlene of lying about a fish he caught. He was really mad. We were talking on the phone, and Darlene caught this fish. He's like, "No, she's lying." It was awesome. It gets super competitive when you're playing with friends. It's not really a multiplayer game, but it's short enough that you can play it in rounds, and everybody hangs.
Controller off.
Yeah, and everybody hangs around to see how the other person did.
Just wait, Rob. Doesn't another game work with that?
Other games work with this.
Oh yeah. Why don't you guys bring up the other games?
Well, you keep going to the bass fishing one.
But anyway, bass fishing is really good. It's followed by several other fishing games that never were as good. Don't bother getting bass fishing to have had it. It's
but the ocean game, the ocean one's good.
That was what was the name of that one?
Deep Sea.
Yeah,
Deep
something
Sea
like that.
something or another. But
I didn't know it's good. You know,
it's good. It's just not. It doesn't capture the magic like bass fishing. When you open it up and like, wow.
I know.
Enjoy your fishing.
Right.
Because it's full sun instead of a sunset. I get it. You know?
Whatever.
No, the motion control detection on this controller is pretty darn amazing, actually.
Do not get the Interact one.
Yeah.
No, you want the genuine Sega one.
Look,
so show them the box, dude.
Yeah.
So this was a genuine Sega product. This isn't some kind of weird ass knockoff game.
This is not a knockoff. This is the original Sega box. You can get the whole thing with bass fishing, usually for around $15 to $20.
Damn well worth it.
It's one of the few Sega games I still regularly play.
Fabulous.
With the controller. I have the controller. I didn't know we were all bringing our controllers. I had to bring my controller.
That's how good.
That's how good it is. We all have
everybody
that
gets this game
and controller.
I should have brought my old memory card.
So,
and this is like something like if you've got somebody who doesn't play games generally, like your grandma, your grandpa, they will play this game. Family members that don't play video games will play this game because it's something they can immediately recognize.
I only have one problem with it.
No, it is. And see,
I only have one problem.
I'm sorry, Larry.
It's
perfect.
Fishing.
No. It's got one problem.
What?
That sometimes you can get so into it that you pull the controller right out.
That is true. That is very true. I've done that.
You had to get the extension cable.
You really do, because you will yank on this thing. So
yeah, and Dreamcast was in that middle ground when they were figuring out where the hell the console should really go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because the cable's a little short on here, so yes, you will whip this thing right out of it.
Either
Thank God for quick release.
Extenders are $5 or less.
Exactly. You know, here's the thing though. The cool thing about this controller also is it doesn't just work with that particular game. You can use it as a sword controller in Soul Calibur.
If you want to lose really bad.
If you get used to it, it's not
You'll
bad.
still suck. Yeah, I can't see
you're
it being.
You're right. It sucks compared to a controller, but it's fun to use it as a sword controller.
It works better if you use the Power Glove with it too.
So homebrew developers out there, great idea for a new game.
Star Wars game with the controller here.
It also worked with Brian's game, Seaman. I don't know how it worked with it, but it did.
You go like this.
No, what
like
you could do is you could you could catch him, pull him out of the tank, and fillet him.
Well, I mean, it's got
That's when it turned into a sword.
It sort of has a full controller on there with the hat and.
That's right. You
The
could.
nipple at the end.
The what?
The nipple at the end.
That's probably motion detection.
That's where you tape on the stick.
I do suspect there's a
That's
little
the
bit of
tip.
motion detection equipment
Just
here.
the
I
tip.
don't know why
Just for
here,
a second.
but probably part of the motion detection system.
Well,
actually,
that actually works because it makes it more believable as a.
It does, but I
Yeah,
suspect
and
that's also
yeah,
part
that's
of the motion
probably
controlling as well.
Why don't they have the cable come out of the top and like put a reel in there so you actually?
Why do you ask so many questions?
Really? It's
That
a
would've been
grand
very
controller.
company. Have you ever gone fishing before, Kevin?
Yes,
Well, that looks like a real
totally
fishing
agree
rod, doesn't it?
That I agree with
My
you
God,
that the
guys are gonna,
Interact
like,
one
pop out
is
of
not
Yeah.
very good.
Just the Sega one.
Actually,
Okay,
now I wanna
but
make
now
a fishing
that we're
pole
talking about
out
weird
of it.
controllers,
I really need.
here's one of the weird controllers that came out.
I
for
want
the
this
Dreamcast.
one.
What the? Oh,
I'll
okay.
never
I
be
already
able to
see.
find
I already
it.
see the game for it.
Samba de Amigo. So this was the first kind of game of its kind. Now that being said, there was
You
Dance
had to use
Dance
two hands.
Revolution for the PlayStation,
That had the pad.
but had that full pad. So this one basically, you
They
played
actually-
a maraca game. This was the first musical-based game where you were playing an instrument.
I don't know about that.
You name one before it.
The drums.
No, that was after this.
Are you
Donkey
sure?
Konga?
Yeah.
Way after.
That was
Way
later.
after.
Tycho Drummer after this
Tycho
one.
Drum Master, also very awesome.
But after
I'm
this
trying
one,
to think.
this was the first. I think this is one of the first
You might be right.
musical
You might
games.
be
Well,
right.
and it's actually the first musical game that this is actually the instrument
Correct.
you are playing.
Right. So on screen you're playing the same instrument. So basically, it's designed.
It registers 3 positions.
We're exempting MIDI-based keyboard stuff.
Right. We're talking games. We're talking games. So this did two things. One, it checked your beat, but it also checked positioning. They actually did a very clever job. They had a small sonic detection system in here, so it did height and position. So it knew...
It's actually only 3 positions, and it's upper, middle, lower. It's pretty primitive.
Pretty primitive, but...
At the
time, it was so cool.
Right.
You also had, it also made you, like, it showed on the screen the poses you had
and you had to be at least close to those poses.
Yeah.
So they did a fairly good job on this. Basically, it had a bar on the floor, a sonic bar that went on the floor that detected. And because it was using dual positioning here, it could tell where you were in your...
because it would ask it would ask you to put both of them on one side or both of them on the other.
It did X, Y, and Z. It did X, Y, and Z.
Larry, sit down, please.
So, I want more dancing Larry.
So, again,
take it all off. I don't think the camera can actually see
and
you.
this was before I saw any other particular gaming system do this. I think Sega was the first one to have a musical
you might be
instrument.
right.
This is pre-Rock Band, pre-all that crap.
Yeah.
And it was actually fun.
It's an amazing...
It was basically a POC, proof of concept. Yes, we can do this.
Yeah, it really was very good.
Yeah.
But it was so weird, and it had that great monkey.
Yes, thank you. Yes,
Amigo,
Amigo, yes, the Samba Monkey. And they had like, you could pick different sounds or different songs. They had quite a long list of songs.
Did they do a Wii remake for that?
Yes, they did.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
And
It's also featured in Sonic All-Stars
But here's the thing, it doesn't make the noise.
I believe there's some
The Wii one doesn't have the...
No feedback, man.
No, the
real
rattle.
feedback.
You want that rattle.
I know you were talking
drill
about
a hole
Typing Out
in
of
it.
the Dead, how
Problem
they totally
solved.
changed. They actually changed the design of that too. You know how there's supposed to be a gun right there? It's actually a keyboard.
I know. I told you, they really redid it
They
completely.
redid the whole entire thing.
I don't like. I really am curious, and like House of the Dead 2. I don't know if House of the Dead was pretty serious. House of the Dead 2, it was so bad that it was just funny, and then they just totally embraced that. I love that.
The campiness?
The campiness.
See, House of the Dead 2 was campy. It wasn't bad, it was campy.
No, yeah, that's the thing. They just totally embraced it. The original House of the Dead, they tried to be serious, and then it just came off as campy. And then 2, they were just like, fuck it.
We're gonna go campy.
Yeah.
Full campy. Yeah, they did. Well, they did too. They went full campy. I mean, the little boy comes up to you, "Thank you, mister." I mean, the voice acting is campy. It works perfectly.
And they did spin-offs like Typing of the Dead.
Yes, all right.
They knew what they were doing.
You know, one of us needs to invest. Speaking of weird and of the Dreamcast now, aren't they the ones that had the vibrating control? That you sat
okay,
on?
all right. So we have not talked. No, that
was the PS2.
No, you didn't sit on it. You inserted it. There was a game called Rez.
Yes, that was for the
Rez
PS2.
was a game.
I think the
No,
this
this
was the PS2 controller.
No, we're talking about the Dreamcast one.
I don't
think it had the vibrator in it.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did.
I will pull it up.
Check it up. I'm pretty sure they
Multi-platform
did.
vibrator peripheral.
Are we talking? No,
We're talking Rez.
the vibrator.
Rez was on multiple consoles.
Yes, but I think the
Right.
vibrator was for the
Actually, there was
Dreamcast.
one on the street.
Vibrating was used on the Dreamcast on a regular basis.
Yes,
It was
but
not
no, I mean
unusual.
this one was a physical vibrator.
Get off on that
Like
shit.
for a
That you
female.
sat on.
For a female. No, not that you sat on.
No, I think you're just supposed to sit
No,
on
that you
it.
kind of.
Well, I mean, you
No, it was designed so they could
use it as you
No,
will.
yeah, well, you know, you might
It was
have
so
picked
your
options.
girlfriend would start
but-
playing video
Alright, I
games.
love
Hey,
that.
it's called the Trans Controller, and it's for the PS2, motherfucker.
I thought that was.
But that Rez started on Dreamcast. That was a Dreamcast game.
No, I think it
and I
was
got
almost
really drunk
simultaneously
around
released.
and
Alright,
dominated
because
it.
I was pretty sure it came out on the Dreamcast first.
So I'm
It
saying.
was on Dream. In fact,
I'm pretty
they
sure it was
had
on the Dreamcast
problems.
first.
They had problems converting Rez to PS2 because the graphics they had trouble with the graphics.
Which they
Rez-
still do in emulation to this day.
Yeah.
Rez
The
had,
lady wants to say something. It seems
Rez
how
was a
you're going on about
Dreamcast
this
game.
misogynist controller.
Alright, go ahead before we close this out.
Well, that's okay. I was just gonna say, seeing as I'm a girl, wouldn't I have known about
Not at your age.
long time ago.
Not at your age.
No.
You might have
It
been
came out
young,
in 99, 2000.
but check eBay.
But that being said, no, because it's
Even
a very,
Amazon,
it's
who
probably
knows?
the
They
most
might
rare
have
of the
it.
rare controllers.
Yeah, you
So,
don't want to buy that.
Find out which one came out first. Did they?
I had to read
too.
the name.
All right.
Yes, yeah.
You know what? I
Hold on, I
put
gotta find out which one came out first.
Alright,
Alright, there's a lot.
Let's find out.
Hey, motherfuckers!
Res came out on Dreamcast first.
Probably right.
Yeah, there's no question there, I don't think. Alright,
Because
I'm gonna close-
PlayStation wasn't.
I'm closing this out because there's nothing more to say about this particular topic.
Dancing Larry at the end, do it.
And I would
No,
like
in
to
front of
close
the camera. You
this
jerk.
episode with Dancing Larry!
Alright, we're officially downhill.
We are.
Come visit us at www.guysgamesandbeer.net. Win free games on our Facebook page, www.facebook.com/guysgamesandbeer.